listeners, and welcome to the Black Business Roundtable. I am co-host Dr. Ashley, and I'm about to show as Doug Blacksher is going to be looking for joining us shortly. So, at 5 p.m., we will be streaming live from the Farmhouse Kitchen Thai Cuisine, located at 336 Water Street in Oakland, California, Jack London Square. And we will be here supporting Rebecca Kaplan, for Alameda County Supervisor, as well as inviting many people to this in-person accessible event. Joining the event will be the previous guest of the Black Business Roundtable, Mr. Elihu Harris. And you know Mr. Elihu always comes and lights it up for us and to hear the insights that he'll share with us this evening. In addition to support Rebecca Kaplan, is John Loh, as well as Geoffrey, Rick Silva, and other powerhouses. So again, at 5 p.m. right there to the event, and will be streamed live. So Jack London Square, for our listeners outside of Oakland, is home to so many of our favorite business peers, establishments. There's Amtrak, there's Veslo, Yoshi, got former Cave, not here before, Seabreeze on the dock, Farmers Market, and so many others. What a beautiful location. And so now what I would like to do is kind of segue into some of the acknowledgments of our sponsors and give you insight on what our station highlights. So as always, thank you, Mr. Donald Glover of Black USA. A special acknowledgement to our first sponsor, Magnolia Engineering and Construction. Again, Tammy Willis, President, Chief Executive Officer of Magnolia Construction, one of the few African American female-owned and operating engineering and construction firms in the country and located in Oakland, California. Visit their website to learn more at brilliantengineeringandconstruction.com. Because of our daughters, if they can see her, then they can be heard. Tonight's show highlights. So one, again, for those who have just joined us, starting off at 5 p.m. is the official kickoff campaign for Rebecca Kaplan. Will begin as also bring elements, and that's in the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. We will also be reminding our audience about Carlton. For our dedicated listeners, you know the story of this young man who recently was sentenced to life in prison after standing his ground, and we'll definitely provide you an update about his legal defense. And as well, please look at our show's hashtags, which brings attention to former listeners and their campaigns. So, who's on our show today? Starting with yours truly, I'm Dr. Ashley Coleman, recently tenured immediate past department chair, associate professor of psychology at University of the West. It is my pleasure. In addition, we were going to have Janani back. We're hoping she pops in. She's busy with her campaign, District 4. And so we'll also see the other illustrious guests that will be in support of Rebecca Kaplan again in the 5 o'clock hour. So let's transition into the national political highlights. And I'll try my best here. Only Doug can say things the way he does. But Doug, I'll try to do you some justice. So one, an invitation to our listeners who are in Georgia or have recently moved to Georgia. Have you registered to vote? The primary is May 24th. So we're right about that month countdown. Who's running? Well, first, Marcus Flowers, a Georgia Democrat. Learn more about him by visiting his Instagram page at Marcus, 4, Georgia, or by visiting his webpage, marcusforgeorgia.com. Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock is also a Georgia Democrat. Learn more about his campaign by visiting warnockforgeorgia.com. Ms. Stacey Abrams, another Georgia Democrat. Learn more about her campaign and platform at Stacey Abrams or stacyabrams.com. Val Demings, a Florida Democrat, who's running to unseat little Marco Rubio. Doug, I can't do it the way you do, but I'm hearing your voice. Her tagline is never tire. Learn more about Val Demings at Val Demings or by visiting the website valdemings.com. And now for news of the day, I have the privilege of sharing again from the Equal Justice Initiative, the tagline, April 21st, 2007, white parents protest Georgia high school holding first racially integrated prom. And again, this comes courtesy of the Equal Justice Initiative. So on April 21st, 2007, Turner County high school students attended the school's first racially integrated prom. Located in Ashburn, Georgia, a small rural peanut farming town of approximately 4,500 residents, the school's racial demographics reflected those of the local community. A little over half of Black and a little under half white. The prom theme, Break Away, was selected to signify a break from the tradition of privately funded, segregated white and Black proms, sponsored by parent groups. The school's administration handbook provided for the funding an official school-wide prom, but stipulated that the senior class officers and student body had to express genuine support for an integrated event. And during the 2006-2007 academic year, the school's 4 senior class officers, 2 white and 2 Black, approached the principal to discuss holding a school-wide prom. Regarding the segregated proms, senior class president James Hall said, "Everyone says that that's just how it's always been. It's just the way of this very small town, but it's time for a change." And the class of 2007 also abandons the, quote, tradition of electing both a white and a Black homecoming queen. White parents still held a private, white-only prom 1 week before the school-wide event. And some parents refused to allow their children to attend the integrated prom. Principal Chad Stone, who is white, said he would not make efforts to end private proms for future classes, but favored the integrated approach. "We already go to school together. Let's start a tradition so that 20 years from now, this is no big deal at all." And again, listeners, this news is from 2007, and like many efforts recently, it starts with the youth wanting to make a change. So we want to acknowledge those students that advocated. And now, I have an opportunity to check in with you as always in Therapeutic Thursdays. And what I'd like to talk about is one of the most powerful words that we can use in the English language to protect our peace, and it is no. No is a powerful word because in many aspects we do use no, but we usually use it toward ourselves. We use it automatically. Someone asks us to do something, we may automatically give a yes without even checking in with ourselves to determine, do I have the capacity to say yes to this? Do I need to say yes to this right now? Do I have the internal and external resources? Is this going to stress me out? Is this going to benefit me? Is this an emergency? Is it urgent? Is it something I want to do, but I need to say no to something else to make room? We often just go through the day saying yes, 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 yes to ourselves and either no or wait, or yes, yes, yes to others, or no, or just wait to ourselves. What this can look like is in the workday. Um, I need to take a stretch break, but I'll do it after I finish these emails. I know I haven't eaten anything, but I'll do it after this meeting, or let me feed the kids first. There's just inundations with requests. And since we've been in COVID, this idea of having immediate access to people and expecting immediate responses have gone through the roof. And I know I am not the only person that's used to being in front, whether it's Zoom or Microsoft Teams, but this idea of immediately expecting to be on without consideration of the impact. And what does saying no to ourselves prolonged, what can that do? Well, it can increase stress. It can lead to sleep deprivation because we're not giving ourselves enough time to unwind or transition between activities. And we can run this Rolodex of tasks, a never-ending to-do list. It can lead to physical symptoms of tension, stomach issues, headaches. It has a lot of negative outcomes. It can impact our relationships with others, because we're frustrated, because it's like, can you read my mind? Can't you see I'm overwhelmed? People can't mind read. But it can also impact our relationships with ourselves, where again, we can become frustrated with ourselves of burning the candles at both ends. And so no seems like a privilege, but anything that anyone asks you to do is an extension of you. You are a person first. And then anything you do well and do for others is a role that you serve. So just make sure that you are also saying yes to yourself and yes to your needs. And finally, I will end with, you learn a lot about the people in your life by how they respond to you setting boundaries of no. So now I want to remind the audience again about our show on March 31st, where we introduced the story of Carlton, a young man in Raleigh, North Carolina. Again, young, educated, successful Black entrepreneur that received a life sentence in February of 2022 after sitting in jail for an extended period of time due to COVID and the delays on due process. And so again, the show, we want to remind you and ask you if you're moved by the story, and Doug has spoke at lengths about his relationship with this young man, his relationship with the family, and just wants to extend an invitation to invite any donations or support in Carlton's parents' efforts to appeal the decision. And reminding you again, he was brought up in church. So again, the National Christian Prayer Warrior family is welcoming your prayers and supports. And the show also wants to acknowledge that there was a loss of another human being's life, and want to acknowledge that that family is also grieving. Okay. And so we just have a couple of moments here before we will have Doug chime in live from Rebecca Kaplan's event. And again, looking forward to those powerhouses and former guests that we've had. So Mr. Elihu Harris and some other titans in the Oakland and Bay Area who will bring us some words of wisdom and words of vision for Oakland. So since I have a couple of minutes before Doug chimes on, and since it is Therapeutic Thursdays, again, I want to remind you of some acronyms that can be really helpful when we are running low and kind of taking our stress temperature. So one is rating emotions on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a low amount of the emotion and 10 being a high amount of that emotion. Asking yourself, Where are you on the scale of 1 to 10? And you may say, I don't know what emotion I'm feeling. Then I would invite you to do a body scan, starting with checking in from the head. Is there tension? Any thoughts racing? Going down to the face. For those of you, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, and having jaw tension. I didn't know that I tended to clench my jaw or grind my teeth until I went to the dentist. But sitting on the 405 in Los Angeles, which is probably 880 and 580 now on steroids, that clenching my jaw is something I do when I'm irritated or frustrated. So checking in with that and moving, figuring out, just tension and releasing. What about your neck? Any tension? Is your throat closed, which can be a sign of anxiety, but also of frustration? How is your heart rate? If it's beating fast, can you take deep breaths to regulate your breathing? Checking in, scanning south towards your stomach, where I've shared with you before that our stress hormone, our cortisol, when our adrenaline is up, we can sweat, we can have heart racing, we can feel dizzy. And then when we're also tense, we can feel butterflies, or we can have our stress hormone of our cortisol rise. We can have a squirmy stomach, releasing that so that there's diaphragmatic breathing. And then shaking it off to take that stress temperature. Another acronym that I like to use is HALT. HALT can be very helpful. One, in kind of delaying the time frame between hearing a trigger and responding, which as we slow our heart rate and give ourselves a moment, we can catch ourselves before we say or do something that may seem relieving in the moment, but can be have negative consequences for our future. So HALT is hungry, angry, lonely, tired. So when we are in those 4 emotional states, again, we tend to be very automatic, or as we say, emotionally driven. And it's not that we may not make the same decisions after scanning, after relaxing ourselves. We may say, no, I do want to say what I thought I wanted to say at first, but it's actually doing something from a controlled place. So again, H, are you hungry? Or as we also like to laugh and say, hangry. Are you hungry? Are you angry? And if so, if you're angry, what do you want to do with that behavior? What's making you angry? What are your options and how to address that anger? If you want to, in anger, all of our emotions are signals, but as we've talked about before, anger is something that lets us often know when our boundaries have been crossed, when we feel shortchanged, or when we feel disappointed. So anger can also, underneath anger can be sadness. So are you lonely? And then are you tired? And again, from that place, making decisions and deciding how you want to approach things and selecting options that are going to give you solutions aligned with your future goals. I had that test today. I can share with several messages that I received where I was pulled to respond automatically and respond from an emotionally driven place. And I had to think about it because I said, you know what? I want my response to be authentic. I want my response to be empathic. but I also want my response to be a teachable moment. Because remember, how we respond to things also gives people some insight into how we want to be treated, how we want to converse. And so doing that from a controlled place is helpful. In addition to halt, stop. I know I've introduced this one before, but just as a reminder, the stop. And for individuals, this may be stop. I need to take a time out. So stop before you hit respond on the text message. Stop before you hit respond on the email. And ladies and gentlemen, my teammate. Hi, Doug.
I am in square to this wonderful audience who have been patiently waiting. And we are getting ready to walk in here and meet the people who are supporting one of the candidates running for Alameda County Board of Supervisor, Rebecca Kaplan. So I'm going to have you walk with me, and I'm letting anyone go. But first off, let me put my mask on.
Okay. Yes. Safety first. Absolutely.
Okay. I am back.
Okay.
And I am going to look for where we are. Oh, it's quite a showing. Wait a minute. How you doing? We are walking into the event right now, and I see Julie.
All right.
Hi, I'm doing a live broadcast. Yes, how are you? Julie, this is my ride or die co-host, and she's in LA, Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology. She's in
Hi, Julie.
Point while I find out where we were. So, can you introduce
Dr.
yourself, Julie?
Coleman, nice to see you. I'm Julie,
Nice to meet
Rebecca
you.
Kaplan's campaign manager. So good to see you.
Oh, nice to meet you as well. We're so excited to support the event and to hear more about Rebecca's plan. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Julie I'm going to show you guys around what a beautiful spread they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish you were here, Dr. Ashley.
You know, you must know I'm hungry per usual. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Purple's pretty. Nice.
Yeah. I'm doing a live show. So. It's Gay Cobb. I have to let you guys know I'm doing a live show on Black Business Roundtable. So.
Where, here?
I'm on live right now. Dr. Ashley Coleman.
Yes.
This is the famous Gay Blair Cobb and the famous owner of one of the most successful outgoing places that people of all colors enjoy. Gathered for years. And his name is Mr. Geoffrey P.
Now, Breathe, hello there.
Hello. Now, you know I'm Larry Coleman's daughter, Mr. Pete.
Larry Coleman's daughter.
Oh, okay. You come from good stock. Best stock. Yeah, very good to see you. Please give my regards.
I will do so.
Wonderful family.
Thank you.
My regards too, even though I don't know them, but I'm happy to meet you, and I look forward to meeting all of your family.
Oh, likewise.
Don't want to just go around with
Circulate, enjoy.
Yeah. Well, as you see, we have some big ballers here today.
Oh, yes. Very important people.
I'm going to take you inside. This is called the kitchen.
Ooh,
and it is a nice place with a beautiful view. It's similar to the, can you see it, Dr. Ashley?
Yes, it's nice ambiance.
Oh my God. Now, I'm going to show you this part because after the show, you won't have to know where I'll be at.
a little spirits will have to find out that they have Live J there.
Oh, wait a minute. What is it called?
I said, we'll have to find out if they, next time we have to ask for our L'Objet wines from our last week's show. If they have it there. We're getting a little delay.
Dr. Ashley, thank you for covering me today because, audience, let me be perfectly clear here. It's time for us to quit talking about putting good politicians in and actually doing it. I'm on the ground here at Rebecca Kaplan, who's running for the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. We have a mayor's race. We have a district attorney's race. We have city council races. And instead of me talking about how bad the people who are in position are, if that is indeed the case, I'm out here hitting the ground, making sure that all people get represented. And let me be brutally blunt. I've been in politics for the last 8 years, and I got in via Pamela Price. And one of the things that I found out, and I am a registered Democrat, alternate delegate for Pamela Price in AD 18, Alameda County District 18. And Democrats, Republican, and Independent, and Green, Green Tea, and others. Black people are not being represented equally in any of these organizations. And I'm going to say that for the hearing impaired. You come to get our votes when it comes time to get elected. But after you get elected, we don't see you. We don't hear from you until the next election. You do one or two little trinkets and like we're supposed to roll over and be happy. But that time has gone. Mm-hmm. I'm at Rebecca Kaplan's run for supervisor fundraiser, and I will be hitting mayors fundraisers. I will be hitting city council fundraisers. I will be hitting assembly district fundraisers, Senate, both state and federal, Congress and U.S. Congress fundraisers, and any person who's running to represent all people, because all people aren't being represented. So I'm going to do a little walk around. Can you give me 5 minutes, Dr. Ashley, and give our audience a word of wisdom? And girl, you just don't know if it wouldn't be no Black Business Roundtable without Dr. Ashley, because you remind me of me when I was younger. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And sister, with that type of attitude and character, you're going to be 10 times as successful as I have ever wanted to be. And you're only 25 years old. So keep up the great work. I'm going to mingle around. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes. I'll be right back. I want to get Rebecca Kaplan on.
Okay.
Oh, and you've done the script, girl. You just, oh my God. So there's nothing I have to remember. It's just party time now.
Oh yeah, you get to mingle. This is where you're right there in the flesh, and we're talking about just all the different people and powerhouses that you'll have an opportunity to bring to our listeners. So some past guests, but also some other voices that we look forward to hearing from.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because the Honorable Elihu Harris is going to be here. We met Gay Cobbs. Her husband is the editor and owner of the Post newspaper in Oakland, California. That's a pretty good newspaper, and I read it often. Mm-hmm. Also, we have, let me look around here, because, it's still early, but we have, and people are still kind of trickling in. Yeah, people are still kind of trickling in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand right here, post up, and make sure that we get everyone that's coming in here. We want to make sure we get a quick interview and introduce. Now, audience, let's go back to Mr. Geoffrey Peets. He opened up and Dr. Ashley, it appears that you have a little more knowledge about him than I do. Would you like to talk just a bit about Mr. Geoffrey Peets and the Geoffrey's Inner Circle Bar and Restaurant in Oakland, California, if you know anything?
Well, yes. Well, one, growing up watching my parents get dressed to the nines and attend many functions at Geoffrey's, it has been a place of, I loved seeing my parents dress up and go there. A place of celebration, a place of just, again, gathering. It's hosted many events, lectures, and I couldn't wait to turn 21 and go there. But also when we talk about Black businesses, as far as owning buildings, it's been a staple of nightlife. It's been a staple of Black business. It has seen many threats and has overcome them and is still there. So I think there's so much knowledge Mr. Pete carries with regard to how to establish a business, how to thrive, and how to navigate various challenges and come up on top.
Wow. Well, just on that note, enter in Rebecca Kaplan so we can get a quick interview with her. Hold on, audience. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Well, we're streaming. We're streaming live here.
Oh,
So
fantastic! All right.
we have the Honorable Elihu Harris, and we have
Franklin Young.
Councilman,
Oh, fantastic!
and we have, who's this gentleman here?
This is Franklin Young.
Franklin Young,
The mayor of Berkeley.
Mayor of Berkeley.
Not really.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get Miss Rebecca Kaplan right here.
Okay, wonderful.
Oh, sir. You know what? When I'm around elite like you,
Hey!
we're
Oh my God,
streaming
are
live.
we live?
We are live.
We're live.
Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
All again and welcome and check out how beautiful and Mr. Mayor.
Hey.
Yes, hello.
This is gonna be our next supervisor. We're gonna let her mingle and jingle, but we're in here, the Black Business Roundtable out here.
All right. Let's see.
Boy, it's starting to pack in here. I tell you what, good audience, we might be wrapping it up early today, but I'm going to make sure I take pictures. And
Yes.
Dr. Ashley, once again,
Yes.
this show would not be the Black Business Roundtable and as successful as it's been if it was not for you being able to, as they say, back my play. For those of you who have enjoyed a year of the Black Business Roundtable and what we are trying to do, increase economics and development for all people. But considering Black people are at the bottom of every list, whether it be health, housing, economics, education, it's critical that we keep your viewership and your support, and we hold our politicians accountable. I've had so many people over the last 6 to 8 years tell me Democrat.
Doug, we're getting a little lag from you. I don't know if it's the internet connection, given where you are and just the amount of people, we're just getting a little bit of a delay.
Dr. Ashley, you want to close the
Audience, you know how this goes. If he's not at Soul Slice eating the oxtails and enjoying, then he's right there mingling with the people. That's
this better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Audience, I'm going to let Dr. Ashley close us out because I want to get in here. There's some people who are running for office, and I want to get in here and find out what they stand for. And when I go back to all people, I can say, hey, this politician is going to do what they say they're going to do, and this one is not. Because we have a whole bunch of politicians talking about what they're going to do, and after they get your vote, our vote, they do nothing. Dr. Ashley, please close us out.
Absolutely. Thank you, audience, for joining us for a special live broadcast show at the Farmhouse Kitchen Thai Cuisine, located at 336 Water Street in Oakland, California's famous Jack London Square. Again, the Black Business Roundtable is live there. Thank you again, Doug, for the Rebecca Kaplan for Alameda County Supervisor Kick-Off campaign. I am Dr. Ashley Coleman, PsyD, in studio. And we want to acknowledge again Janani Ramachandran, who we hope is there, our grassroots fighter of human rights and candidate running for Oakland City Council District 4. See more of Janani via her new website, jananiforoakland.com, or visit her Instagram page at Janani4Oakland. Thank you again for those that we got to greet today. We want to also remind you to tune in to hear, again, more about, and hopefully, Doug, remember to post those pictures. We did see former Mayor of Oakland, Elihu Harris. We also saw Mr. Geoffrey, Pete, and others, and we look forward to seeing who you interact with this evening. A special shout out to Mr. Donnie Glover of BlackUSA.News and current sponsor Magnolia Engineering and Construction. Please visit the website magnoliaengineeringandconstruction.com to learn more. To join our BBRT advertising family or to be a possible guest on the show, please reach out to us via our email address bbrt2021@hotmail.com. Please enclose your company name and details and website. And on this wonderful platform, we have other programmings, other days of the week. So there's Shared Space, Frontline News, The Troy Rawlings Show, The Beverly Smith Show, and more. So please tune into the YouTube page and learn more about what's happening on this platform. Again, thank you, audience, for tuning in. And remember, together we can listen, learn, and share, because I know you care. This is Dr. Ashley Coleman in studio and Doug Blacksher remotely for the Black Business Roundtable. God bless and good night. See you next week.